You've probably seen it happen. You're sitting on the couch, scrolling through your phone or watching something on the TV, and suddenly your cat jumps up, plants itself right in front of the screen, and starts pawing at it like it owes them something. Or maybe your cat just stares, completely frozen, pupils wide, tail flicking back and forth, locked onto whatever's moving on that glowing rectangle. It's funny, it's a little weird, and honestly, it raises a really interesting question. What is actually going on inside a cat's brain when this happens? The answer isn't as simple as cats are just goofy. There's real biology behind it, and understanding it can actually tell you a lot about your cat's nature, their needs, and how you can use this knowledge to make their life better. So, let's get into it. First, let's talk about how cats see the world, because it's very different from how you do. Cats are what's called obligate carnivores, which means their entire biology, including their sensory system, evolved around one primary goal: hunting and catching prey. Their eyes didn't develop to appreciate sunsets or read books. They developed to detect movement, especially fast movement, in a wide field of vision, even in very low light. Cats have a much higher flicker fusion rate than humans, which is basically how fast a light source has to flicker before it starts to look like a continuous, steady image rather than a strobe. For humans, screens look totally smooth and natural. For cats, especially older screens, there's a level of flickering that their eyes can detect. This means that to some cats, your screen literally looks more alive and active than it does to you. Modern screens, particularly high refresh rate ones like 120 Hz TVs and monitors, are better in this regard. But even then, the way screens display moving objects still triggers something ancient and very primal in the cat's brain. Think about what typically moves on screens: small figures, quick motions, birds, bugs, fish, other cats, fast transitions. All of that lands directly in the category of things worth chasing in a cat's instinctual programming. Their brain is essentially doing what it was built to do. It just doesn't know the prey is fake. Now here's where it gets even more interesting. It's not just about vision. Cats also pay attention to sound. The high-pitched sounds of small animals, the rustling, the quick footstep sounds, the chirping, these sounds are processed in a cat's auditory system with remarkable precision. So when a nature documentary plays the sound of a bird calling or a mouse scratching, your cat isn't just watching. They're listening. And their brain is assembling a full sensory picture that says, something is here, something is moving, something might need to be caught. But not all cats react the same way to screens. You might have one cat that completely ignores the TV while another loses their mind over a video of a fish swimming. Why? This comes down to a combination of factors: age, individual personality, prior experience, and how stimulating or boring their daily environment is. Younger cats and those with higher prey drives tend to be more reactive. Cats that live in environments where they don't get much mental stimulation or playtime are also more likely to fixate on screens, because that screen might genuinely be one of the most interesting things in their life. That's important to sit with for a second. When your cat stares at a screen for long periods or comes back to it repeatedly, they might be telling you something. They're bored. They need more engagement. Screens can serve as a form of entertainment, but they're not a substitute for actual play. There are even YouTube channels and apps specifically designed for cats, videos of birds flying, fish swimming, insects crawling, and many cats genuinely engage with them. Some owners use these as enrichment tools, especially for indoor cats that don't have access to outdoor hunting stimulation. And within limits, that's actually fine. It can reduce boredom and give your cat something to focus their instincts on. However, and this is a real however, you want to pay attention to how your cat is reacting. There's a difference between casual interest and frustrated obsession. A cat that watches a bird video, paws at the screen a couple of times, then walks away and goes about their business is doing fine. But a cat that fixates intensely, chirps or chatters at the screen for extended periods, or becomes agitated when the video stops might be experiencing a kind of frustration. This is because they're activating their hunting drive, the stalking, the focus, the anticipation, but there's never a payoff. In the wild, that process ends with a catch. On a screen, it never does. This is actually a really important concept in cat behavior called predatory frustration. When you repeatedly trigger a cat's hunting instinct without allowing any kind of completion or resolution, it can cause stress. Think of it like always being on the verge of something exciting but never getting there. Over time, that can affect mood and behavior. So if you use screen entertainment for your cat, the best practice is to follow it up with an actual interactive play session. Use a wand toy, a feather, something they can physically chase and catch. This gives their brain the closure it's looking for and turns a potentially frustrating cycle into a healthy, satisfying one. Now I want to stop here for a second and ask you something. Does your cat watch screens? Do they go completely still and stare, or do they straight up attack the TV? Drop a comment below and tell me what your cat does, because honestly, the variety of responses people have shared is wild, and I love hearing about it. And if you're finding this interesting and you want to learn more about what's going on inside your cat's mind, make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. It really helps and means I can keep making content like this. Back to the question of screens and cats. Another thing worth mentioning is the type of device. Tablets and phones that cats can touch get a particularly intense reaction because the touch gives them something to actually interact with. There are games specifically designed for this, apps where bugs or fish move across the screen and respond to the cat's touch. Again, used in moderation and followed up with real play, these can be genuinely enriching. Some cats learn very quickly that certain behaviors, like pawing at the tablet, produce results, which also shows you just how sharp these animals are. There's also an element of social behavior at play. Cats are highly attuned to their owner's attention and habits. If they see you staring at a glowing screen for hours every day, they may approach it simply because you seem interested in it and they're interested in you. This is part of why some cats specifically sit in front of your screen or laptop. It's not always about the content. Sometimes it's about getting your attention back. The screen took you away and they want you back. Honestly, you have to respect the logic. So what should you actually take away from all of this? If your cat likes screens, don't panic. It's a completely natural response to something that looks and sounds like prey. Use it wisely. Let them enjoy some enrichment content, but always cap it with real interactive play. Keep an eye on signs of frustration rather than just amusement. Make sure your cat's overall environment is stimulating enough that they're not turning to screens out of desperation. And if your cat sits in front of your laptop every time you try to work, maybe that's not about the screen at all. Maybe they just want 5 minutes of your attention, and honestly, they probably deserve it. Understanding why your cat does the things they do is one of the most rewarding parts of living with them. They're not random or chaotic. Everything they do has a reason rooted in millions of years of evolution. The more you understand that, the better you can take care of them. And the more you'll appreciate just how remarkable these creatures actually are.